Hi everyone, Kasey Thompson here. I want to jump right in and tell you about a vision that I just had. In this vision, it was like an old country western movie. I was sitting in the back of a classroom in an old school on a dusty plains in middle America. It kind of looked like Little House on the Prairie, if you picture during school when Laura Ingalls was there. Kind of like that. It was an old house on the prairie, mid 1800s. And I sat in the back of the classroom and I watched as the teachers were teaching the students really outdated information. Information like how to barter pigs for bread, how to plant apple trees, how to milk cows, how to put shoes on horses, and things like that. Then the vision, it kind of skipped forward, and I started to see myself as a grade school student. And I was learning math, and I was learning how to use a typewriter. And I was watching the teacher, she wrote on the chalkboard. And I watched as kids my age were passing notes back and forth. Then the vision skips, and now I'm in a futuristic classroom. And I see that AI is teaching students that are remote learning. So they're all remote learning. No one's actually in the class. It's just an AI robot that's teaching class to all these kids that are remote studying. And I was listening to what they were teaching, and the AI robots, they were teaching students much different materials than we know today. They were focusing on how to control energy and focusing on frequency and vibration manipulation and spirituality and things like that. So I asked my angels, what do these visions mean? What am I seeing? And they said, people are naturally skeptical if they hear something that goes against what they were taught as children in school, even if what they were taught is completely wrong. That people just go through life acting what they called deadheads, meaning they don't question anything. And they just accept everything as truth. Kind of like I saw a vision of Halloween. And as I looked at this vision, I asked my angels, what am I seeing? And they said, take Halloween, for example. Everyone celebrates it. But no one has a clue what Halloween is, and they just go with it. They don't question anything. They have no idea where it came from. They just do it. That's called deadhead. They said from an early age, kids are taught not to dream. That they're told that you can't see angels. They're told you can't see the other side. They're told that miracles aren't real. And that people, they said, actually used to be institutionalized or even killed if they could see beyond this world. You see, hundreds of years ago, almost every civilization on the earth knew you could see beyond this world. But this was stamped out in many cultures and many countries by new religions. They said sometimes, my angel said sometimes, truth is manipulated and only certain versions of man-made truth is taught in schools. Often these versions are not even remotely close to being true. For example, they showed me the earth, and they said schools used to teach the earth was flat. You can see the earth, it's not flat. They showed me Columbus discovering America in 1492, and they said the Vikings discovered America hundreds, if not thousands of years earlier. So how come history books teach that Columbus discovered America when that's not true? They explained to me, they says, when you were a kid, you learned about planets and solar systems, and there were 9 planets. Now there's not 9 planets. That basically everything changes as technology gets greater until humans can realize that there's no such thing as space and time. that they're both limitless. You know, they showed me as a kid, I used to pop my knuckles, and my mother would get upset saying, if you do that, you're going to get arthritis, which now we laugh knowing that's not true. And they said lots of things are just passed down, and they're not true. They're just passed down from generations, make no sense, but people accept them as absolute truth. Like in school, the basic food groups that we used to eat are not even close to what you eat today. It used to be bread was at the very top of the food chart, and you'd have, like, I don't know, 20 servings of bread, but that's not true anymore. My angel said, you see, many things taught to children today will be completely wrong in the next 25 years. My angel said, the great spiritual awakening is happening now. That God's truth is now coming to light. They said, make sure you teach everyone and you yourself question everything that you've learned since you were a kid, because a lot of it's not true. It's just been accepted, but it's not true. It's legends. It's just passed down. And don't just accept so-called truth just because that's what you were taught as a child, because the majority of what you were taught is just not true. God bless. I love you all.